So, a warm welcome to the masterclass on the Monet's technique. So, let's get to know a little bit about who Monet was. So, Monet was a French artist, and from a very young age, he developed the love for sketching and painting landscapes. Now, like many artists, Monet also faced a lot of criticism and financial struggles during his early age. However, his persistence paid off and his work became widely celebrated. Now, today's Monet's paintings are some of the most admired and valuable in the art world, inspiring countless artists and art lovers. So, if you want to know about Monet, you need to know what Impressionism is. So, it was an art movement that was promoted and propagated by Monet. So, it mainly focused on the impression of movement rather than detailed, realistic scenes. And most of the Impressionist artists often paint outdoor or plein air. So this allowed them to observe and capture the changing light and atmosphere directly. So some of the characteristics of Impressionism include loose visible strokes, then emphasis on light and color, then scenes of everyday life and nature, and focus on capturing fleeting movements. So you can see the most beautiful works of Monet was from his gardens. So you can see the small brushstroke which capture the movement of the water and the winds in the air. Now, why is Monet important? Why are we learning about him? So Monet played a very crucial role in the development of Impressionism. His painting, Impressions or Sunrise, was so influential that it gave the moment its name. So his innovative techniques and focus on natural light challenged traditional approaches and opened the door to modern art. So how did Monet break traditional rules? So he rejected the use of black for shadows. Instead, he used blues and purples. And he avoided rigid outlines, allowing colors to blend and vibrate naturally. And he painted very quickly, capturing fleeting moments rather than static process. So some of Monet's notable contribution and key elements use color and light for his artwork. Then he created series of painting. That is, he painted the same scene at different times of the day to capture variation in light and atmosphere. So he painted nearly 250 artworks on his water lilies. The next is plein air painting. So plein air is basically you go outdoors and you paint what you see in front of you. It best captures the essence of the scene. Then the colors. He focused on color perception rather than the precise outline of elements. Then his paintings often evoke a feeling of tranquility, energy, and nostalgia. Some of the tools and materials of Impressionists include the brushes. So Monet used a variety of brushes, but some of his favorite brushes include the flat brush, for the bold stroke and large areas, the round brushes for more controlled detail, fan brushes for soft edges and blending color. Use soft flexible brushes for smoother blending. Going on to the colors, Monet's color choices were vibrant and dynamic, and he rarely used black, instead relying on color contrast to create shadows. So his core colors included cadmium yellow, so you can see a bit of here, then the ultramarine and the cobalt blues, then the vermilions, then the emerald greens and the titanium whites. So these colors were repetitively used in his painting. Going on to the canvases and surface, Monet preferred a prime canvas with a slight texture. He often painted on large canvases to allow broad, expressive strokes. Going on to Monet's brushwork techniques. So the secret behind Monet's signature strokes. So he used very short, choppy strokes. So beautifully you can see that short strokes in this painting. Then he did layering and glazing. He applied thick, quick drying layers to build depth. Then dry brush technique. He used minimal paint on dry brush to create textures. So as his painting style was very fast and to capture the fleeting scenes, so these were some of the techniques that he used. Going on to Monet's color palette and mixing techniques. So Monet's use of color was revolutionary. So instead of dark shadows, he used blues and purples and greens. And he used complementary colors to create depth in his painting. So the contrast of warm and cool color tones for vibrancy. Then the broken color technique, like we see in this artwork. Here you let the colors sit side by side without fully blending it, so that it created broken blend in the canvas itself. He also layered thin washes of colors to build depth rather than mixing on the palette. Going on to capturing light and atmosphere, which was crucial and revolutionary to Monet's painting. So Monet's true genius was in capturing how light changed a scene. So Monet's light and shadow technique included his painting in series. That is, he painted and observed a scene in different times of the day. So the different times of the day gave us a different feel of light in the painting. Going on to diffused edges, he softened shadows to make them feel natural. Going to reflection and highlights, he used bright dabs of color for water and sky. Going on to composing like Monet. So some of the things that we have to keep in mind when we try to recreate the Monet style is to lead the eye with brush strokes. So use movement in the water, skies and trees with the small tab brush strokes. Then avoid symmetry, so keep composition dynamic and unpredictable. Before we go on to the learning activity to create a Monet-inspired artwork, go through some of his artwork which I've shared in the reference section. Observe how the brush strokes are, how the light plays an important role in his artwork. So the key steps in recreating Monet style include, you can sketch a light composition, block the base colors and imagine where the light source is. Then use broken colors or short stab strokes and fill in the painting. And you can also build it up layer by layer to add depth. Then in the end, take a step back, refine the artwork that is required, but do not overwork. So go to the resource section, observe and learn from some of his artworks. So visualize how you want your artwork to turn out. Then plan on what all brush strokes that you will give, on what are colors that you're choosing, on where your elements will be placed. And finally, you build up your painting step by step. So don't forget to share your artwork in our WhatsApp group for review. So I'd like to conclude by a very powerful statement by Monet. That is, I would advise young artists to paint as they can, as long as they can, without being afraid of painting badly. If their painting doesn't improve by itself, it means that nothing can be done and I wouldn't do anything. So it's a beautiful statement by Monet on how he is inspiring young artists to keep on being persistent and keep on painting to bring the best version of their unique voice. So congratulations, we have come to the end of this masterclass. So keep exploring and keep painting. Take care.